Okay. All right. Hello, my name is Tim Bicoy. I'm with Chain's Western Division here in San Antonio. I'm the auditor, expediter, and also a assistant safety man to Mr. Ralph Schmidt here.
I'm Ralph Schmidt. I'm safety coordinator for the Chain West Distribution and Fiber Optic Division here in San Antonio. I'd like to take a second and read the safety focus, the human performance safety focus for today. It's about overconfidence. Overconfidence is when someone has more confidence than they should have based on the situation and they misjudge their ability or opinion. This can result in an injury or error. Always use the human performance tool, self-checking, STAR. Stop, think, act, and review to combat overconfidence. Have you used STAR today? There's a real good message in these things every morning. Appreciate everybody pay attention to them and look at these. They're sent to all the foremen every morning. I'd like to start out and talk about the chain safety metrics so far this year. Up to date, we've done very, very well this year. Of course, we're only 6 months into the year. We're starting into the home stretch, which is probably the worst, most difficult stretch of each and every year. It's hot, and it's going to get hotter. Humidities are high. We need everybody to stay hydrated. We need everybody to kind of watch each other, observe your coworkers, make sure they stay hydrated, help them if they're starting to look like they're getting a little bit dehydrated or profusely sweating or not talking too much, not feeling well. Please get them in some shade. Get them in the truck. Get some liquids to them. Do whatever it takes to cool these employees down and help them out. But it's going to take everybody's effort as far as observing each other and helping each other out. There's no shame in if you overheat a little bit. You just need to take a break, let your foreman know and say, hey, I need to take a little bit of a break here and cool down for a little while. Please drink plenty of liquids before you start work, during work, and then after work. You don't want to just try to drink while you're working, while you're sweating. It's very important that you hydrate up before you start the day activities. It's going to get even hotter and more humid the next few months. So please, everybody, we need everybody to help out and take care of each other in regards to the heat stress. Another thing we'd like to talk about this morning are the 3 main safety items, the chain electric safety items that we all covered back in the employee kickoff, safety kickoff back in January. And one of these safety focus items is defensive driving, and I'd like to speak about that for a few minutes. Everybody needs to be diligent on taking care of the equipment. This equipment is very expensive. There's signs on most of the equipment that this equipment makes your paycheck. That couldn't be more true. We need to take care of the equipment and do your inspections, your pre-trip inspections on the equipment every morning, and don't abuse the equipment. Err on the side of caution. And then also when you're driving this equipment, we need to slow down, take it easy, and take our time getting to the job. It's really not worth the pain and the misery you have to go through after an incident occurs, everything you have to go through as far as explaining everything and making out all the reports and trying to justify why you let something happen that could have been avoided. So please pay attention to it, slow down, and try to preserve this equipment. It's very expensive. The company has a lot of money invested in this equipment. They're trying to keep it running to help everybody do their job.
If I can jump in here, Ralph, most of the times when we roll out of our yards in the morning, there's usually 2 people in that vehicle. There's usually a passenger involved. It is just as much on that passenger as it is the driver to make sure that we get to the job site and get back in safely. It's not on the passenger to sit there and play on the cell phone, talk, sleep. His job is also to help that driver to be as safe as possible.
We'd also like to talk about identifying all the hazards on the pre-jobs. When everyone gets together every morning to do their JHA, JSA, tailgate meetings, please try to identify all the hazards. The hazards are always different, and they're a lot of times the same. But each job presents a different situation, and there's different hazards pertaining to the work that's going to be done. Make sure everybody understands and they understand these hazards Everybody recognizes them, and they all get documented on your JHAs every morning. That's very important, and it is a requirement that everyone does that. So please be diligent about doing that and take the precautions, the necessary precautions.
And I'd like to talk about another safety focus item entitled Stand Up. Don't be afraid to point out unsafe practices by your fellow workers, using common sense and courtesy, of course. Encourage them to do the same for you. When you make a mistake, it is better to be embarrassed than electrocuted. Well, how about that last statement, huh? Better to be embarrassed than electrocuted. I want to take that down onto a personal level here and talk a little bit about a few things. One of them being PPE. PPE doesn't do any good if you don't take it serious, if you don't care. And when we're talking about safety attitude here, when you get up in the morning and you come to work, you don't come to work with the attitude that, hey, I'm going to go get hurt today. No, it's all about self-preservation. I'm going to get to work, do my job as safe as I can, and go home as safe as I got to work. That should carry over to your brother at work, your coworkers. You are your brother's keeper when you're at work. And having been in the line work industry for about 35 years now, I cannot tell you how many times I've had somebody looking out for me and saving my butt on an occasional basis. Today I still have all my fingers, toes, limbs, arms, legs, because people care about me. Near misses, same thing. I don't know how many times I was prevented from doing something that could have caused an outage, unplanned outage, which is going to lead me right into the next topic, which is cover-up. How much cover-up is not enough? How much is too much? That can be objective, but at the same time, to me, you never have enough cover-up there. 9 times out of 10 on an unplanned outage, when you do the root cause analysis, it usually comes down to not enough cover. So keep that in mind, and enough said on that.
Well, thanks, Tim. I guess before we close, one more thing I would like to just encourage everybody, especially in the heat right now, slow down a little bit. Slow down in your driving, slow down in your approach to doing the job, to make sure you've identified all the hazards, that when you do identify them, that you've covered up very thoroughly, and you've spent the time and the effort to cover up everything thoroughly. You know, there's been a handful of outages so far this year, line outages, and we can definitely improve on that. So when you look back at these accidents and injuries, just about every one of them, you can look back and say they shouldn't have happened, they shouldn't have happened. So before we let them occur, let's think about how we're going to keep them from happening. Thank you all, and remember, safety is everyone's responsibility here. And please work safe.
Thank you, and God bless all of you, and may God keep everybody safe.